Hey Virgos, and welcome to your September 2018 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. And happy birthday to those of you aging up during this month. We are in Virgo time, and I feel that this is a wonderful Virgo time to be having. We have all of this Earth influence, with Uranus and Taurus and the Capricorn stuff, with Saturn and Pluto, and it was Mars for a while, but it will be going back into Aquarius. And then we have the personal planets and the Sun in Virgo. So we have such a strong Earth influence coming in September, and I really feel Virgo to be thriving, yes, because you have a good opportunity to do so. But as you can see by some of the cards coming up, we are still sort of continuing on that path that you've been on this whole year of really getting past some of the heavy, more shadowy aspects of your experience. I do think that everyone can benefit during this time. I think that all Virgos can benefit and thrive, and I do think that it's quite easy to overhaul the system or overhaul your routine or your formula and turn it into something which is much more beneficial. New beginnings are really strong this month for you, Virgo. You do have two aces in your reading, as well as some younger energies with the Two of Pentacles and Two of Wands. However, you also have some older, later energies with Eight of Cups and Ten of Swords, and also the Seven of Pentacles. So this is a period of time where you will encounter new beginnings, but also have to tie a lot of other things up as well. So you do seem very busy to me. You seem very acknowledged by many people. But through that, I do feel that you have an incredible opportunity to reinvent yourself and reemerge as what you've wanted for a long time. So I do think that this is a process. I think that Virgo is very much purging out what you thought that you used to want and replacing that with what is truly authentic to you. You have that incredible Queen of Wands in your reading, which a lot of other signs have as well, which I really think gives an incredible stage and platform for you to reinvent yourself and for you to express an aesthetic that you've strived for a long time. So allowing yourself to finally meet goals, allowing yourself to finally accept your power and use the power that you have in your hands. You have that incredible upright Two of Wands in your reading. So the fire energy and the power that you're receiving from that is easily usable at this point in time. There could be a bit of indecision coming in at the beginning of the month about how to use that and what decisions to make, but I feel by the end of September, it's very clear the choices that you have, and the choices are probably already made by then, but you know what needs to happen. So don't worry too much as you're coming into September, because I do feel that you're coming into September in the first week there, with the Two of Pentacles reversed, rooted down by Queen of Wands. With a foreshadowing that second week, with the Ten of Swords and, the central theme being the Devil reversed, there's a foreshadowing of, okay, I'm about to enter in to a very defining time of my life. And I'm here to tell you, Virgo, that you've been there for quite a while. But I do think that it really hits home as you're moving into the beginning of September, when you're realizing that, okay, this period of time could really be a lot more definitive to me than what I thought the last 2 years were. This period of time might see you a bit more alone, or even disconnected feeling from the people who once brought you a lot of joy. You might really take solace in connecting with your spirit tribe or even your family. It feels like really, really old relationships are okay, or completely new. Some of those midterm relationships, maybe the friends that you've had, for a year or two or recently met, those might not feel right anymore. There's a sense of really holding on to and embracing what you've had for a long time, while at the same time creating new. So I definitely recommend that Virgos throughout the month of September make plans with family if you have a good relationship with your family. I wouldn't make plans with volatile people or people who make you feel bad, but people who've been around for a long time, I would try to maybe have coffee with an old friend, or allow yourself to meet brand new people, one of the two, not really anything in between, and give yourself a lot of opportunities to do that. As I also feel that people are learning a lot about themselves through you. I felt this in Leo's reading as well, and perhaps it's because those two signs are right next to each other. There's an energy within that part of the zodiac that is really uplifting others by capitalizing on what you've needed for a long time, and I do feel that Virgo has needed a sense of solidarity and a sense of security in long-lasting relationships, as well as the spontaneity to create new ones, not really having to isolate yourself in either one, where you're just around new people or you're just around people who've been around for a long time. Because I don't think that everyone's realized how you have changed. Maybe your appearance is very different now, or maybe you are animating yourself in a way that you have not before. And I do think that people will thrive by seeing you this way, by thinking, wow, that person has really changed themselves for the better, or even in some cases, like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't do what that person is doing with their life. And it helps them, though. And I feel Virgo to really be helping other people by embracing what they've needed for a long time and allowing themselves to be decisive, too. Especially you Virgos with, like, Libra in your chart, there can be an indecisiveness right now, I think, especially as we move towards Libra time. So, allow yourself to make the decision. Are you wanting to move? Are you wanting to plan and strategize? I always say to face indecisiveness with strategy. That's going to be really healing for Virgo this month, is to face indecisiveness with strategy. So really sit down, make a map, make a plan for yourself. Virgo is the most gifted sign for drawing up a plan, for making a formula, for knowing how to shift paths and shift paradigms, really, and being able to see that coming from a long way away. So even if you can't necessarily make the huge change, in fact, I'm feeling that the huge changes themselves are not really meant for September. That's okay. It's a time to plan it out. It's time to, right in the first week, if you're feeling like your identity is lacking, if you're feeling like your expression is lacking, I think it's because you don't feel like you're in the driver's seat. You don't feel like you've made the plan. As I knock something over on my desk, I'm sorry about that, Virgos. You might feel a little bit clumsy in your plan making. That's how I feel right now. I feel a little bit clumsy. So, in the first week, you might be feeling a little bit clumsy. And I do think that it's time to calibrate. It's time to grease up your system a little bit more. So make sure that all of the mechanisms in your life are turning well, working on your health, putting nice things into your body, giving yourself a nice environment to exist in. And that's going to prepare you beautifully to move into that second week with 10 of Swords reversed, rooted down by 7 of Pentacles reversed. You're reflecting on something heavy during that time, during the second week of September. And it's been around for such a long time. 10 of Swords and the Devil and like the Tower energy and 8 of Cups energy has been in Virgo's readings for a lot of this year so far, Virgo. So, and each month that I see it for you, I get this impression that that's coming to an end, that you are sort of tying the last loose ends that you needed to, but then it keeps coming up each month. So this is becoming a bit repetitive for you. And I think that you're feeling, okay, I'm finally facing this. I'm finally, finishing this pain or getting past this destructive cycle. And then you see it emerge in a new way during the next month or during the next time that you face a similar situation. So we've got to go a little bit deeper, I think. We've got to strategize and shift paradigms a little bit with this destructive cycles that you're facing, and I'm trying to channel into what that could specifically be for a lot of you. I think that it has to do with beginnings. I think that it has to do with that period of ending the chapter and beginning the new one. There's like a void space in there, and and that's really stretched out for Virgo, as well as like Scorpio and Pisces and Taurus. I feel that the void space between chapters have really stretched out, and I do think that that's where Virgo has found themselves for a long time now, in that void space. And you have the perfect opportunity, and I think it's going to happen at the end of this month. That new chapter is going to start because you have those 2 aces together. So that's really the last 2 weeks, I think, week 2 and week 3 of September, can easily be your last 2 weeks of void time and just sort of indifference and purgatory feeling. But it doesn't really just magically lift. It's the realization and the strategy that you assume to get out of that really pulls you out, I feel. Something else to do in the second week is to reflect, but also not reflect on the things which have been overdone in your mind. So the things which have been marinating for a long time, the memories that you go back to very directly and easily, those are done. I feel like it's important not to repress them, but to understand that, okay, there might be things that I still need to look at, but it's probably not this anymore. So those traumatic thoughts, those, Virgo can be a bit obsessive compulsive. And when that mixes into the memory, or you're in a void space like this, it's sort of a recipe for disaster, because you might be obsessively compulsively trying to dissect situations which have already happened, and there's nothing that can be changed about that, so it sort of wastes this incredible power and energy that you have to do that. So I would recommend that Virgos do something with your hands, maybe renovations, or sewing, or scrapbooking. Something that gets your energy out into the tangible world will be very helpful during that time to kind of pull those swords out. Because I'm happy that Ten of Swords is reversed. As I always say, I like that more than the upright version. To me, it says that you're pulling the swords out, or gravity with time is finally allowing them to come out. Be gentle with yourself, so you don't want to make that too difficult of a process. And I don't think that it really will be. You're moving into the third week with Two of Wands rooted down by Eight of Cups reversed. You know, you really are getting power from walking away. This could be a move for a lot of you too, whether that be like a real life, you know, moving to a new house, or a very potent shift in character. It could be for a lot of you walking away from a certain coping mechanism or a certain grief style. I could see for a lot of you, and you're getting so much power from that. You really see your options start to open up when you're walking away from the things which have not worked for a long time. You know, with the Devil reversed being your central theme as well, which I'll go ahead and talk about, because it feels like it's really connected to all of that. I mean, look at all those cards around the Devil with Ten of Swords, Two of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, Eight of Cups. All of those cards can really evoke the Devil energy, because there's such a concentration of energy and a concentration of power that ends up being very self-destructive, and it's something you can't get your mind off of, and it's something that you're always having to try to get away from, trying to escape. And that's the cycle. You know, if you sort of direct your attention to the Ten of Swords there and allow yourself to move counterclockwise throughout those four cards that surround the Devil, I feel that to be your Devil cycle that you're going through. And that's those second two halves of September, which represent that purgatory, is the cycle. And I'm so happy that the tarot has shown us that in this way. You know, sometimes I think about, you know, moving more towards channeling and doing less tarot, but I'm really happy that I got this message validated in this reading with that spread, because that's it, Virgo. That Ten of Swords to Seven of Pentacles to Eight of Cups to Two of Wands, and repeating itself, feels to me to be your cycle right now. So if you maybe want to do some independent study on those archetypes, that might help you to see how you can deviate away. Because I mean, what do you have in the fourth week? That Ace of Pentacles rooted down by Ace of Swords reversed. A complete, wonderful, what do I want to say, congruency of a new beginning. Like, it's almost unavoidable. So during middle September, you're going to have to see all of that, and you're going to have to acknowledge it, and you're going to have to decide, okay, is this what I want to keep doing? You know, the really beautiful high peak of the Two of Wands and the really like low, tumultuous valley of Ten of Swords. Is that still right for me now? Do I need that volatility in my life? Do I need that codependent relationship or that manic depressive person? There's so many peaks and valleys, and that's all what the Devil energy is about, because addiction tends to form on volatile energy lines, you know. So really calming down the electrical energy in the body is a wonderful way to help pull back from manifesting this type of cycle. So really working on the sleep rhythms, you know, working on what's going into the body, and allowing a calmness of mind. Virgo is not the calmest mind of the zodiac. You're ruled by Mercury, so your mind can move 1 billion miles per hour. And that generates so much electrical activity, which is one of the reasons that, you know, a lot of people don't know about, but I theorize that one of the reasons why Virgos' lives are so volatile and so dramatic, you know, sometimes Virgos will have the most dramatic stories of the zodiac, and it's like it's an earth sign though, and like the other earth signs, you know, it's not that they don't have drama, but it's nothing like Virgo. It's because of the rulership with Mercury and the strong electrical activity within the body. It generates and pulls forth really chaotic experiences, because the electrical system is chaotic. So work on the nerves, work on nerve health, work on calming the mind, you know. So, you know, whatever herbal concoctions, I'm not an expert on herbs, help to regulate the electrical systems are good, but, you know, mainly conscious coping mechanisms and affirmations feel to be most healing, and grounding people, you know, grounding that electrical current. You're an earth sign, you have to stay grounded, you know, working on really balancing out that root chakra will help you to move on as well. And I mean, I've pretty much already touched on the fourth week, but that's potentially a new job, or not so much a new relationship. I'm not feeling that as much as I am a new lens to the world. With Ace of Swords reversed, you've sort of redone your processor for stimulus. So your brain processes stimulus, and I feel that you're not liking the way that you're processing events or experiences in your life. So you're having sort of a new view of that and a new ability to process that. And that to me feels like what really gets you out of this cycle, because all of September is revolving around the devil reversed Virgos, and that's about seeing through. I'm happy that Ten of Swords and the devil are reversed. I really am, because you see them. They've outworn their appeal, because even though they look like really disturbing images in the tarot, they sometimes, when the cycle that brings them on comes into our life, it is not something that looks nearly so disturbing. You know, it can be elusive, it can be tricky. So you're seeing them for what they are now. You're seeing the disturbing cycles for what they are, for the destructiveness that they are. And I know that this probably feels heavy for your birth month and solar return, but what an incredible birthday present to see reality. You know, to see the truth of a situation. And that's how you have to see it for yourself, Virgos. You can either maybe see some of these things as like very frustrating and like, oh my gosh, I'm so upset that I've seen this, when you've got to look at it from the perspective like, how much worse could that have been if I kept thinking that was good for me? You know, how much worse would this be if I thought that that devil and that Ten of Swords energy was still something that benefited me? So I sense you to be getting a lot of gifts, you know, Seven of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, you're looking beautiful, you're expressing, everyone thinks you're so happy, you know, and you are happy. There are things which bring happiness, you know, Two of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, incredible gifts, like what an incredible month for gifts. But I feel your biggest gift to be seeing the truth, honestly. You know, you may get money, you may get beautiful things, you may get like lavish gifts, but that pales in comparison to the sense of relief of seeing the truth and being able to devise a plan and strategize a way to create a new truth for yourself that is much less destructive and disturbing. So what an incredible birthday gift, very heavy, but I'm so happy for you, Virgos, and I think that's a wonderful place to conclude your reading for this month. Happy birthday, happy solar return. Check out your sun, moon, rising sign. A lot of the other signs were much more like positive this month, or I don't want to say positive because I think it's so positive to, you know, see the reality of a situation, but much more happy-go-lucky readings for a lot of the other signs. So check out your sun, moon, rising sign, and be sure to subscribe if you have not. I so appreciate the subscriptions, likes, and comments. They help my channel to grow and thrive. So if you would like to talk about your experience, it helps my soul to see what you're going through. It helps me know what the Virgo audience is going through so I can cater next month's reading for it. And of course, it helps my channel to grow. So thank you so much. Check the description box. If you would like a private reading, all of that information is there. And yeah, I will be seeing you guys in October. Really take this time in, really enjoy it. Much love. Bye.